this thing has been getting such good reviews that dozens of people messaged me directly and asked me to give it a try. So I picked one up. And this is another product from Happy Model. Happy Model is a company that really has very low integrity, but I do have to say something surprisingly positive about Happy Model. The person that puts these things together or designs the setup, that person, I'm pretty sure, really knows what they're doing, because they seem to test and look for very specific performance. They look for good performance, and most of the things that they've made, not most, at least some of the signature things that they've made have performed surprisingly well. It's just unfortunate that they do have a couple of major flaws, which I'll mention later on. Now, this is their variation on a new variation on the toothpick concept. And what they've done here is that they made a new all-in-one board. They keep making new all-in-one boards. They stuck their Diamond DVR board in there, and they made new motors for it. Now, these motors are 1103 7000 kV. The kV ratings on Happy Model motors is a little bit screwy. They claim to be a lot higher than they feel. I don't know if they're actually that number, or maybe their magnet structure or whatever is just so low end that it just needs the kV to feel reasonable. But whatever their motors are exceptionally light and perform decent. Not great, but decently. These motors are no different. This is their 1103 version of their 1102 motor, and it's just barely capable of swinging this 2.5 inch prop, the 2.5 by 2.5 by 3 from HQ. And like I said, one of the main reasons why I recognize whoever there that does seem to pay attention to what they're using and what they're doing is because this is the one other prop that I personally have found after tons of testing that I think is really remarkably good on my newer kind of setups with my newer kind of motors, which I haven't shared yet. The AVAN prop, or the AVAN, whatever the little micro AVAN prop is, what is it called? I don't remember what it's called. The little AVAN 2.5 inch, that is a really good prop as well, but I find this prop to be a little bit less amp draw. The other really good prop is the GemFan Flash 2540, but that's a little bit more of a heavy load prop to push through the air. Now, whatever it is, I think this prop is very, very suitable for this setup that they have here. The all-in-one board that they're using here is their Crazy Bee board, and like I said, Happy Model products just have a hard time. They just have a really hard time with reliability, including their DVR board, the Diamond VTX DVR, which is a 200 milliwatt DVR and is really nice. Like the setup and design and all of it, it is really nice. It just does not perform that fantastic. I mean, you get these weird lines on the screen. The 200 milliwatt seems more like 50 milliwatt. It just doesn't perform great. The DVR, however, it performs great. It performs really well. You get really good quality out of the DVR. I mean, not the best, but the RunCam little 20 by 20 board is genuinely better in terms of the record quality, just a little bit, but this DVR board is not bad. I just wish it worked well. Now, the camera they're using in there is the RunCam Nano 2, and I actually think that's one of the best nano cameras on the market. I prefer this one over the Predator, surprisingly. I think it has a really natural picture and it just looks really good. On this variant, they have included a Crossfire receiver as well, which in my opinion, anything that puts a Crossfire on it just increases its appeal in terms of quality just that much more, because Crossfire is such a solid product that if you include it on any of your quads, it shows it to be a more premium product. And in this case, I think they realize that and they're going for that. The location of it is a little bit screwy. I mean, the frame is unnecessary, but whatever, it'll hold up fine. And the antenna structure on it is they're just like, here, you deal with it. I mean, I've just been wrapping it around my battery. So how does this thing perform? This thing performs surprisingly well in its very narrow window of performance, and that means that this doesn't perform well on the 65mm props. It doesn't perform that well on the HQ 65mm prop. It doesn't perform that well on the GemFan 65mm props or the King Kong 65mm props, and it does not perform well on 2S at all. It also does not perform well on a large 3S battery. For this thing to perform well, you pretty much have to run a 300 milliamp 3S battery. And these batteries are quite fickle. They're basically just 3 whoop batteries that are stacked, and they drop cells really easily. I've had about 30 of these batteries, and I have 3 left that are usable in any way. The others just have the voltages just are not stable. The cells just keep fluctuating. Sometimes they don't even charge because one of the cells are half dead. They're very fickle little batteries, and I believe the reason why they're so fickle is that if you look at the thickness of the cell compared to the 450 milliamp pack thickness. So like the roundness on the top and bottom. This isn't a puffed battery. That's just how the battery is. I think the way that they're making these lipos is different than the way they're making the 450 milliamp cell. The way they're making these lipos is actually it's similar to a lithium ion. They wrap the things around themselves in a circular fashion, which doesn't bode well for lithium polymer technology. I think I'm definitely no battery engineer or expert in any way, but the 450 milliamp cell in general tends to hold up just night and day better. And it's really unfortunate that this thing is just too small to run a 450 milliamp 3S battery. Sure, you can run it. The performance will just not be very good. It will be sluggish. It will draw more amps than necessary. The all-up weight on this thing with the 300 milliamp 3S battery is about 75 grams, which is really the perfect weight. And the motors are just the very smallest motors that can spin this prop. And this prop performs really nicely because it is a tri-blade. It's a very low-load tri-blade, and it does have really good grip. It genuinely has a surprisingly good grip, definitely much more grip than any twin-blade prop out there, and it is a great prop for that reason. The Avan prop is very similar in its grip, but its throttle profile is a little bit more not screwy. It's just a little bit higher load of a prop, so when you put it on small motors, they tend to top out in their performance around the 60-70% mark or before you hit full throttle. Whereas these props, you actually do have some throttle control up at the top end, as in the throttle actually does something up at the top end. However, this quad is not very fast. It's a 2.5 inch quad. It performs, totally great for a 2.5 inch. The flight time is 2.5 minutes, really, and it performs fine. It's just, you have to know that it's a Happy Model product, and Happy Model comes with, known reliability issues. That being said, I think that this actually performs totally fine compared to the things that I've been building lately and that will come out very soon. This thing is pales in comparison, but it performs really well for something in this product category. And while I don't like Happy Model at all, because they did kind of just take my toothpick concept and just run with it before, even though they lied to me and said they wouldn't use it for anything, and just made everything with it, I have to give them credit, because whoever is there that's making these things does pay some attention. I hope this was helpful and informational. Take care. Stay tuned. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming. Floss your teeth. Bye.